In this video, I'm going to show you how you can stop being insecure. I've suffered from feeling insecure and being extremely shy in the past, so I know what it's like. Today, you're going to learn some tips to deal with being insecure so you can live a happier life starting right away. Insecurities are something everyone has to deal with. I've also had to deal with insecurities. Anyone who tells you they have no insecurities is lying. Yes, there are plenty of people who seem very confident and devoid of insecurities, but they just manage to hide their insecurities well. They're able to project a facade and wear a mask in front of others. So why do people do this? Part of the reason is because we need to fit into social norms. For example, if a man shows weakness, he will be heavily looked down upon for it by society. But I believe people also wear masks in front of others because they've suffered from trauma, self-shame, self-hatred, or whatever, so they feel this need to be validated by others. They struggle with self-acceptance, so they desperately need others to accept them. As mentioned earlier, being vulnerable and showing your true self can lead to harsh judgment and rejection from others. Moreover, people often feel the need to hide their insecurities and put on a facade because of their ego and their pride. Your ego and your pride tells you that you can never be weak, you must be perfect, you must be better than others, and so on. So how do we deal with our insecurities? As mentioned before, we can't just reveal our weaknesses to others and be vulnerable, right? So when I was younger, I used to be extremely shy and insecure. I could not even make eye contact with anyone. I was extremely terrified of even speaking to anyone other than my parents. But over time, I was able to handle my insecurities a lot better. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my suggestions for how to deal with your insecurities, as these tips helped me the most. So my first tip for dealing with your insecurities is to just own them. So for example, let's say you're insecure about being creepy, you're insecure about your physical appearance, about coming across as weird or whatever. So you have these insecurities because you're afraid people will notice them and insult you for them. They may try to humiliate you for them. They may reject and ostracize you for them, or so on. Maybe even when you were younger, your parents put you down for these insecurities that you now have. So the way out of worrying about coming across as creepy, having an unacceptable physical appearance or whatever, is to just own it. So if people say you're weird, you can just say, hell yeah, I am. Got a problem with that? Then they can't bother you and affect you. The reason is because people who try to attack your insecurities and want to bully you and bring you down, to see you in pain and see you being affected, and they want to see you react to them. But if you own your insecurities, you're basically telling them, and you're also saying to yourself that your perceived insecurities don't bother you. You could also try another similar method, which is called agreeing and amplifying. So if someone says you're stupid, for example, you could agree to it, that is, you agree that you're stupid, and you amplify it or exaggerate their insult by saying, yeah, I'm so stupid, I think 2 plus 2 is 5. Even first graders know what 2 plus 2 is. So by owning your flaws, you'll then be a lot more free, you'll feel less worry, and you won't depend on external factors or people for your happiness. You'll realize that the harshest critic of you this whole time was not others, it was not society, it was in fact you this whole time. You can even say it was your inner critic, it was your ego, the inner voice in your head, or whatever. But the point is, it came from you, and by owning your insecurities, you will now have obtained self-mastery, and no one can trigger you or mentally control you now. So my second tip for dealing with your insecurities is to never take the comments from others personally. So for example, let's go back to the example I used earlier, where you're insecure about not being smart enough, about being creepy, or you're ashamed of your physical appearance. For example, maybe you're insecure because you think you look obese. So if someone makes a comment or insults you about your insecurity and you don't take it personally, you'll realize their words stems from how they feel and it doesn't say anything about you at all. So to help you understand this, imagine a little kid or a beggar or a homeless person comes up to you and calls you stupid. Now, are you really going to take their insults seriously? No, because kids are ignorant. They don't know any better. The beggar or the homeless person, if they're coming up to you and saying bad things about you, it's a reflection of them. because they're not happy with their life. So another way to help you understand this is to imagine someone who's just in a really bad mood. For example, someone who's clearly not attractive to the opposite sex. They may not have a lot of friends. They may not be in good, they may not take care of their finances very well, whatever. And they say hateful things about others. So for a person who feels very angry, maybe they're feeling like a victim, maybe they've suffered an injustice, and that person decides to take out their anger on others of a certain race by killing them, by committing terrorism against them, for example. Moreover, let's say that this angry person decides to attack you, even though they don't know anything about you at all. Like they've never even met you before. But they hate you anyways just because of your race. So if that person attacks you or gets violent or even just tries to attack you with words, is that a reflection of you? No. That person hates everyone of your race. That person knows nothing about you. He doesn't know who your parents are, who your friends are, what your hobbies are, what job you have, or what school you go to, or whatever. So the same thing applies when any person tries to insult you. So if some person on like an internet forum, for example, hates on you, again, it's a reflection of them and not you. They're just angry with their lives. And there could be tons of different possibilities for why they're angry with their lives. Maybe they have a boss they hate. They're jealous of others in general. Maybe they were traumatized as children and never got over it. The point is, they know nothing about you. And if there are people online, for example, they don't even know what you look like or how old you are. So the same thing even applies if someone you do know in person tries to hate on you. So for example, let's say you're dealing with a bully in school or in the workplace. Now, they do know some things about you. They know what your face looks like. They know what clothes you tend to wear. They know what your voice sounds like. But they don't know a ton of other things about you, such as what your childhood was like, who your parents are, and so on. So again, their attitude towards you is a reflection of themselves. It's not a reflection of you. So anyways, those were the tips that helped me deal with my insecurities the most, and I really hope that they'll help you as well. That concludes my video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. But before you go, I just want to ask you guys to leave a comment in this video describing whatever insecurities you have, if you're willing to share them, and how you deal with them. Do you usually try to put on a facade or whatever? And now that you've watched my video, how do you plan on dealing with your insecurities now? But anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. And if you did, please click on a like button and the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time.